Good morning. I'm going to show you a few things which I thought were interesting. I'm not the first person to do this before, but I'm noticing the way that the bishop is set up is using a lot of wrap deformers, and tell you what, maybe it works really well, but in my experience with using wrap deformers is that they're extremely slow and very cumbersome. So I thought I'd just share with you a slightly different technique that I've seen other people do. It's not my technique by any stretch of the imagination, but it's certainly a faster way of working. So the way it works, I've done it here with a moustache on bishop, and you can see that as he moves around, that the moustache moves with him, and hopefully he stays with his head all the time. These are eyebrows from the Animation Mentor extras, and that's my moustache that I threw on there. So just to show you how to do that, just say for example we'd like to create a beard or something like that. What you do is you grab the top level selectable head, duplicate it, Control D, move it, press W. Well, first thing we need to do is we need to unlock it. You can see over here that because it's got a skin on it and other deformers, you'll need to unlock it. So you select all the channels, right click and go down to unlock. Now that head is free to move around. You'll see that the pivot is right down here at the bottom. So if you move the pivot across, you've got a fresh head that you can work with. Now for the trick. The way this works is that it's actually a blend shape. Blend shape, and what we do is we make the beard, this is the beard, I'll call this one beard now. The beard is a blend shape of the head. So just to show that quickly, if I select the head and then the beard and go create deformers, blend shape. Now whenever this base head moves, nothing happens, and that's because I've put the blend shape on, but I haven't made it active. So if I change that from 0 to 1, just type 1 in here, you'll see now that when I change this face here, the one on the right changes. All well and good. The trick here is that the way that Maya works is that it has a history of nodes one after the other that works in a sequential manner, and you can see those nodes either opening up the hypergraph, or you can just right click on the node in question, which is the beard, and underneath here you'll see inputs. If you go down and open it all the way to all inputs, you'll see everything which is currently affecting every particular part of the body. So that's the bishop's main head, and you can see all this stuff inside there. It's not particularly well created, it's got a lot of history, it's not very clever. But this one here, it's only been a copy and a blend shape. Now this thing here is something that used to always bug me because I never really understood what a tweak was. And a tweak is kind of like a bucket. Anything that you do, if you move vertices around or you delete things or whatever, that's a modification bucket. Now the way things work here is that you can modify, change a shape, and then it's got the blend shape on afterwards. Which means that if I was to modify the shape after having done the blend shape, that it would create another tweak node on top of it to account for these changes, which is kind of yucky. So what you can do instead is you can right mouse click, or middle mouse click actually, middle mouse click and drag, and you'll see what happens is that it pushes it down. So if you ever need to reorder things, this is what will happen first. So this is what happens first, and then the blend shape happens. What we want first is to have the blend shape happening first and then our modifications. So what that means is that now I can even delete parts. Stupid thing. Sorry, it's my repetitive strain thing just about to be killed. There we go, this is what happens when you're a diligent worker. Let's get that out of our face for a second. I do respect that normally. Okay, so what I was saying was that now the way it works is it's done the blend shape on the head, and after that we can delete stuff. So if I wanted to create a beard, I could say get my select brush, that's the one that's right up here, and change it to faces, and middle, hold down B and middle mouse click and drag. It gives me a selection tool. So now I can just paint on the face where I'd like my beard to be, just the faces as a starting point. See there? And it doesn't have to be symmetrical because things like that never are. Maybe have it going up in over his ears, and that's it. So he'll be bald with a bit of interesting beard going underneath there. Try to follow the shape there, keep it integral. We can move it around later on, but the point is that we've got some base starting point for our beard, and like I said, it's not going to be perfectly symmetrical. And if I press 4, you'll see where I've got the beard selected. And even more strongly, if I now hold down Shift and invert my selection, that gets rid of everything except for the beard. That's holding down Shift and marquee dragging over the top. Now when I press delete, all that's left is the beard. So if you've lost any bits like I've got here, you can just click on here and then hold down Control and click, and that will get rid of bits. So now I've got something like a beard. And the best part is, when I move this round, the beard moves with it. Now comes the power of the tweak, because it's not just deleting stuff I can do. You can see now up on my input list, I've moved the tweak at the top, which allows me to delete things. And I can now even select the faces and do something like this. Press F3 on the keyboard and go extrude. And watch this. You move the controls around on the face, it still moves. Why is it all the way over here? Let's just look at the shader I had on this one here. It's aptly named Lambert 20. I'll just get Lambert 20 off this huge list of, it doesn't have it here, I'll just do it in the hypershade. Just so it's the same colour, just so we can see the change in that. Lambert 20, there it is. So right click, assign material to selection. Now that beard has been moved across, and whoever built this, if you look at the original head here, it's been locked in here, but they haven't frozen the transformations. Okay, so it's got a transform inside there, which isn't the best thing in the world. But what you need to remember that is that you've got this minus 0.363, it's also on there. So if you were to type in 0 as 1 normally would, good rigging, it would pop back to the original position. But you have to be careful here, because there's a change in that. You could also have to keep that the same value. So we can type 0 in X, that works, and this will now come back over his face. And you've got a beard which reacts with the face, which is nice. Now we can get creative, because even though you've got your beard here, you can move your points around, and this is because you've got your tweak above the blend shape node. So we can move the beard around, so be careful. Turn off selection of everything except for surfaces, will make this a bit easier. So I'm just getting my camera at an angle where I'm looking to the side of my mesh, and then you can start to move it around, making it flow a bit better. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do to make things happen fairly quickly is to use your sculpt tools. We've got over here sculpt tools, but you can also get them up by clicking on any mesh, right mouse clicking, going down to paint, and then you've got sculpt. So you can go on top of that, and you've got several options. You've got push, pull, smooth and relax. So you might try something between smoothing and relaxing, just to help to make this look a little bit more organic after you've done it. So relaxing is probably going to work a bit better. So it just relaxes the shape a little bit and makes it look a little bit more like hair. And you can always go back into that extrude node and fix that up. So that's one thing there. Another thing which I think is kind of cool, I only recently discovered this one as well, but let's just go back here first of all and give it a little bit more flesh to his beard. So I'll use the push here and push that beard out just so it's a little bit more like a beard. I'm going along the normal here, the first normal, so it's just going to push directly away from the face. So if I push down here, it's going to push down underneath the mouth, which is great. Okay, now just to make things look, you can see it start to pull off the face there a little bit, so I'll just push that back in. Again, this is completely on history, so sorry, I forgot to turn off the selection of curves. It's completely reacting to the face, so whatever you do to the face, it's going to completely stay with it. You can even might just isolate that because it's pulling away from the face on the inside, so I'll do the same thing here and pull. Is it going away? Yeah, it is. Pull it back into the face because the hair grows out from the face, so you want some good connection there, so when the face does start to do really weird things, that it looks like the face is connected to the beard. So that's that, and you could even grab the inside of that and extrude it back in if you so wished, but that's fine. So unisolate that now, and you'll see that the hair does push back into the face there. So one little last thing that we could do with this one, and I can actually continue to extrude that. If I wanted to have the beard longer down here, I could again go back into my paint. You don't want to push this too far, but say I wanted to have a little bit more beard underneath there, make the beard a bit longer. You could select that bit underneath there and extrude again. Now you can use your edit mesh to extrude, or you can just hold down shift and right mouse click and go extrude face. You're using right cursor click, but so that gives you a bit more beard to work with, and once you've done that, you can go back to your smooth tool and smooth it out a bit. Once I've released the selection of that, just go back and select it properly. Okay, it's selected, and now I can smooth it out a bit so you get a bit more of an Abraham Lincoln-ish beard underneath there. And here we'll pull that out a bit more. Pull it off the head. Pull that out off the head a bit. Alright, and all the while you've got the response between the face and the beard. So as you open your jaw, the beard moves with it, and everything is happy as Larry. Okay, so you may want to go through and tweak that a bit. So the last thing, I keep saying the last thing, but here we go, here's the last thing. I'll turn off selection of curves again and just select all of these here. This is my favorite new thing, is you go edit mesh transform component, and this one here allows you to randomly move vertices around. So I can just select how random that is and then go transform vertex. And it's best to move it on the blue axis. You can see that's the Y axis, it'll move along the normal. And as you do that, it gives you random distribution of those points. So you probably won't go too far, but just something interesting and a little bit unusual will make your beard look a little bit more organic. So there we go, we've got a beard. I'll turn off the selection of surfaces, go to selection of curves, so I can just select only the character, and now my beard and moustache are on my character, and that's it. Okay, and you'll find that it's actually a lot faster than using a wrap deformer. A wrap deformer will slow down your animation immensely, whereas this is using direct simple modes like a blend shape. Blend shape doesn't do much. A wrap deformer has to calculate envelopes, and it's really slow, whereas a blend shape is just one-to-one correlation, one point to another point, so it's a lot faster. So there you go. He looks happy about the whole thing. Hope you're happy about that. If you've enjoyed that, please stop past my little workspace and tell me something interesting. Like to meet you. But otherwise, I'll just see you around. Take care. Bye.